it from watching Morales, but he considers himself a computer nerd, George.
George is something of a computer nerd himself, so he can identify.
That's why I didn't say anything.
Hey, Harold, how do you have it through 3? Okay, your computer.
To the 1, 26, Erik El Terrible Morales. Jim, let me explain. If you knock a guy down once, it's 10-8. If you knock him down twice, it's 10-7. So that second round, Morales builds up a big 10, gets a big 10-7 round. I gave Chavez the first round. Morales won the third round because he's very sharp and very accurate.
That's what I said about Chavez. He keeps the pressure on sometimes, but if you don't really achieve a knockdown, sometimes the referee only is the guy hitting you back.
And speaking of that, Vic Drakulich has been placing himself on the right side of Jesus Chavez and has not seen the 3 solid left hooks that Chavez landed to the hip of Erik Morales.
And that makes a difference, too, because that's where you lose your stamina. When you get hit with those low blows, especially down by the hip.
I'm surprised Morales didn't say anything to the referee.
Oh, he's a warrior. He's not talking now. He's fighting.
Some fighters tend to lobby the referee when that happens. Morales has never done that.
Personally, that's a mark of Morales' extraordinary confidence. He has the arrogance of a great champion. He doesn't believe anybody's good enough to be in there with him.
There's a
cut over the right eye of Erik Morales. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Larry. Looks like it's to the outside of the eyelid. George, what do you think?
Oh, it's going to bother him, but the other fellow, Chavez, has one also. So they're...
No, he's not bleeding, George. You know,
no, the other guy, Chavez, has one they worked on for a couple of rounds now. So it's like an eye for an eye right now.
Now referee Vic Drakulich wants somebody to take a look. And here comes a ring doctor.
It's fine.
Ring doctor says it's fine. That is Dr. Jeff Davidson. A familiar figure here.
It's that uppercut that Morales keeps winning with. Just can't seem to miss him, Chavez, with an uppercut.
The well-known Dr. Margaret Goodman was removed from this card. And that leaves an absence of any ring doctor who speaks Spanish, which is interesting because none of these fighters habitually speak English, at least not the ones that we're seeing in the 2 main events. Round 4 comes to a close. There have been no knockdowns for the last 2 rounds, and the pace of the fight is beginning to even out. And yes, there's the little nick around the left eye that George was talking about, just outside the left eyelid of Jesus Chavez. Not nearly as much blood there, though, as has been the case here on the right eyelid of Erik Morales.
Yeah. You got to work it because they can stop this fight. You work real good in this fight, but keep it up. Finish on the top. Keep it this. Let me look at the eye. Let me work on that eye. Don't forget, they can stop this fight because of the cut. Finish him off.
You hear it clearly in Morales' corner. They're telling him to go after Chavez and try to end this fight as fast as possible because of the cut. I don't think the cut is that bad that they could end the fight on it.
Well, that's one they're trying to inspire their fighter now.
Well, Miguel Diaz was the guy who got the best look at the cut, and he was one of those who was saying, go ahead, go after him. Morales in that last round, far more accurate than Chavez. 21 out of 79 by CompuBox numbers. Chavez only landing 8 punches, but one of those 8 opened that cut.
You want to go out and finish a guy like that, but remember, Chavez is big. He's not accustomed to trying to finish off a big boy like that. Chavez is like a bull. He keeps coming and pulling in. He's got no respect for Morales' power. Although he's knocked him down, he still hasn't really got any respect. This is the time to have some respect because this guy can punch. Shake your head up enough to the judges only see his power and not yours.
Chavez, the busier fighter in this, the 5th round. Morales' corner suggested maybe he'd start looking for a knockout. There's always a tendency to wait a little bit on the big punch if you're thinking knockout.
Those important body shots by Chavez, very important. He's going into the side now. Morales' body will give out if he constantly throws those body shots, as Chavez is doing.
Investing is Jesus Chavez in the bank of Erik Morales' ribcage. Now Morales starts to fire back. Some of his body shots blocked by Chavez's elbows.
Yeah, he's not able to go to the body. Morales is not able to go to the body, which is the difference here. This fight goes on and on and on. The one who lands more body punches is the one who will get the control.
This is Chavez's best round since the first.
At least it was until this moment. But all in all, a round in which Chavez was by far the more assertive fighter. And George pointed out the importance of the body shots. We'll track it as we go along.
Okay, throw some water in the back, in the head. Deep breaths. It's nothing. They cut it small. It's nothing. Come on, you got your legs, you got everything, you got condition.
When the odds were 4-1 for Morales, Chavez told us that he bet $1,000 on himself taking the odds. The odds closed at about 3-1 for Morales.
Which means there were probably a few others who had that $1,000 idea that Chavez had as well. Erik Morales seemed to be coasting a little bit in the 5th round. Jesus Chavez threw 83 punches. Morales threw a lot of punches as well, though, as they traded throughout the fight. Hard right hand by Morales.
Let me tell you, that hurt. You see Morales, Chavez is trying to coast this round. That's what happens when you take off for a second, try to coast yourself, then you have these things happen. Sorry to say, but neither fighter can coast.
Already, Miguel Diaz seems to have gotten Erik Morales' right eyelid well under control. Chavez has made contact with the eyelid a couple times here, but there's no flow of blood.
The good thing for Morales, he's been in these wars before. Sometimes when you know your body, it's a good thing.
Well, and the occasion. A perceived advantage for Morales in the fight, George, was his long experience fighting huge events here in Las Vegas, something Jesus Chavez hasn't done before.
Here's an odd thing. Morales is much the longer guy with the longer reach. He walks into 3 straight jabs without returning anything. Explain that one to me, George.
It's like, hey, I came here to get hit. I came here to get hit until I get you. There's an excellent jab. And the uppercut he's not been able to miss with all night. Whenever it turns into,
Chavez just keeps coming.
Whenever it turns into a good boxing match, Morales wins hands down. The jab, the uppercut, the movement.
Chavez is showing better defense now, moving his upper body a little bit more, covering up a little better.
He's doing an excellent job of being aggressive, but unless you get a solid knockdown occasionally, no one can see it. And that eye's come back open on Chavez. He's holding.
Chavez's left eye, just a little bit of a trickle of blood. Morales' right eye holding up very well. March 1, catch a replay of Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel. Among the stories, an entertaining behind-the-scenes look at the 128th Westminster Dog Show, held earlier this month. Don't miss it.
Maybe you beat him with your left hand.
Left hand, your jab. That's keep him at bay with that jab. And then all of a sudden hit him with the right hand. It's going to work. 1, 2.
I'm good.
You're touching him. You're hitting him. Every round you're getting to him.
A mark of what Larry pointed out, Morales, the longer fighter, the better boxer, and yet there's Chavez's corner saying, use your jab. Come in and follow your jab. You're doing well with it.
I thought Chavez has out-hustled Morales in the last couple of rounds.
Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim, you know, as we go along, as we go deeper into the fight, those 2 knockdowns play more and more and more important. 58, 54, 4 rounds to 2. Erik El Terrible Morales. Jim, I thought Erik Morales won the 6th round. He's landed a sharper punches, just like George says. When he throws that uppercut, he can't miss with it. And Jesus Chavez walks in, gets nailed by either overhand rights or uppercuts. 4-2 Morales based on mostly clean punching.
I have it 3 rounds apiece and a 2-point edge to Morales.
And remember, those 2 knockdowns came in the 2nd round after Chavez had stunned Morales and seemed to rock him back on his heels in the 1st round.
I don't know. I get the feeling a little bit. Tell me if this is completely wrong. That Morales now seems just a slightly sluggish, not as crisp as he was earlier.
It took away the idea of boxing. Now he's waiting in, trying to get a knockout like his corner told him. That takes it out of you. And you don't want to move and be crisp. You want a knockout. And the body punches he's absorbed tonight. He's been hit with a lot of body punches.
Well, we expected a long, tough fight from Morales, and that's what it looks like it's going to be. Those words are usually followed by a knockdown.
Two quality fighters just trading shots at close range. And there, when Morales uses his left hand to set up the right, he can be devastating.
And you know, that punch was more powerful than the one he knocked him down with. Those are the ones that hurt you. Shakes you up.
Double jab, left hook, and then the right cross made it perfect.
Right on the side of the head.
These are 2 fighters who give everything they have and then give a little more.
Uppercut all night long for Morales. Does it with the left, he does it with the right.
And again, the trickle of blood from Chavez.